Best places to...
30.05 chip. I'm really happy with that. Today's just really 2-mile jog, some stretches, drills, and then I'll put on my race shoes and just do like 4 by 20-second odd strides, and then a very short cool down. Might be half a mile sometimes, might be a mile, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I've done it since I was a kid, so we've just stuck with it. It's a little bit strange when you're doing it for a half, because it feels very light, especially when people are so used to doing high mileage and things, but it works for me, so just stuck with it.
Do you have a goal in mind, or?
Yeah, like obviously everybody wants to run a PB. You always come into races hoping that you can run the fastest time you've ran. But yeah, I just don't really know what to expect. We made a real effort over the winter to try and get my 10k back down to where we wanted it to be. And we did that like around a PB by quite a big chunk, so I'm really happy with that, but I'm not 100% sure where that translates to like a half marathon. I'd like to think it'll translate pretty well and that I can run a PB, but yeah, I've obviously never been here before. I've never ran the race, seen the course or what the field or anything is like, so I don't really know what to expect. Fellow Scot Callum Hawkins, he actually won it back in, I think it was 2017, and he ran like 60 flat. I think he actually ran 60 flat twice here.
Nice.
And even back then I remember thinking, oh, I'd love to do it one day, but it's just never fit with like my schedule, and this time of year for me is usually a bit quieter, whereas this year we've been a bit more aggressive over the winter, and I'm like, feel like I'm ready to race. And yeah, there's just a really cool culture around Japan and running, but particularly distance running. So that side of things, I'm really excited to be here for that as well. Hopefully I'll have a little group to sort of latch onto and try and pull me towards a good time, because I haven't really done many halves that are mixed, to be honest. A lot of the times it's been women only or much smaller fields than this.
I've seen you proposed in Japan,
Yes.
on Fuji.
Yeah. Just felt the right moment to do it. Don't know why, but just did. This is going to sound really bad. I just googled best places to propose in Japan, and Mount Fuji was the top. And of course, she'd already said, "Oh, we're going to go to Mount Fuji." I thought, "Oh, this is it." So anyway, I looked at like different spots around Mount Fuji. I had a plan of where I maybe would like to do it. There's different like pagodas and all sorts of different areas. But every place I went, it was just too busy. It was just like, I was like, she's going to hate it. If I propose here, she's going to be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like I thought, there's just too many people. Just went on Google again. I was like, any quiet spots close to the flower garden, and then there's just a couple of recommendations, maybe on Reddit or something. There's really quiet sort of pebble sort of beach, like nobody goes there. So I was like, okay, this is going to be the last chance. We're supposed to leave in like 20 minutes, and we got there, and it was just perfect. Yeah, so we had this amazing view. There's nobody there. There's this beautiful lake, Mount Fuji. It was perfect. So yeah, nice memories for sure.
You did a good job in the end.
Yeah.
It's actually Michael that sort of coaches me now. We're together 24/7. He's there to sort of help me make those day-to-day decisions. If I've got a bit of a niggle or if I feel tired, like he'll adapt the plan, but ultimately I'm still following the same sessions and schedule that my mum has set. It's just like nothing is set in stone now. It's more of a discussion between us. I mean, my mum's very busy. She works full time, and I only see her maybe a couple of times a year. So yeah, it just makes more sense now for Michael, who's with me every day, to sort of be a bit more in charge and guide that a little bit more.
It's like weather. It's not that, but it's crisp. It's fresh.
Right on it.
They'll tell you like half hours because it's going to start. Like, you know what I mean?
No, they would in the UK because they know that we'd never turn up on time. You have to learn.
Learn the hard way.
Learn this. I was desperate to go for udon noodles yesterday. I didn't realise it's like a lunchtime thing. So we pretty much what time did we get there? We got like 5 minutes before it shut.
7:45.
Everywhere else was shut, but we got that one place. But everything was sold out, so I was pretty much the only athlete that managed to get like
You got a large.
a large bowl of udon. Time check.
It's not you bother.
Yeah.
Lose that sort of sharpness.
That first session was awful.
It's going to be the winner.
Right.
Back strides.
Yeah. Like my mum was an ASICS athlete as well back in the day. So when I was really, really little, like my first ever pair of shoes were a pair of ASICS. They sent me like a tiny little pair of baby shoes and like my first pair of spikes, first trainers, like it was always ASICS. And it used to actually come from ASICS Japan, weirdly enough, because my mum was signed to ASICS Japan. Start with this line. I have ran in the Meta Sky Plus for several years.
Yeah.
I never had any like injuries or problems with them, so I stuck with them for a long time. And even when I was coming back from injury, I just felt like mentally that was the easiest shoe for me to wear because I knew it very well.
Yeah.
So I went back into that and I sort of avoided wearing newer versions because I didn't want to take any risk of wearing something new. But now that I'm sort of over that injury and into the newer shoes, I definitely feel a difference. Like I feel they're more responsive, definitely a little bit softer, like the foam is softer, but for some reason it just feels better when it hits the ground. Since this new Tokyo version, I just seem to really like the edge, the way it feels. It's hard to like explain. Don't know if it's just my running style. I wore them in Valencia, I really liked them. Obviously ran a PB there, so I thought, right, stick with it. Don't change now. So yeah, we're gonna wear those tomorrow. Yeah, they sent me the new band. Balcony one, yeah. Yes, I've been with Chorus a couple of years now.
Do you look at things like the predictor?
So my 10k is not far off, 29.49, and I ran 30.05 chip. But I think I can, to be honest. Yeah, I think I'm not far off that. 14.30 for 5k. That's my PB's 28, so I think that's pretty close on as well. 64.57 would be very happy if I ran that tomorrow. I think that's perhaps a little bit steep, but yeah, 64.57 would be. That's definitely a goal. Like I'd love to break 65. That's a big target. We thought that a couple of years ago. If I could break 65, that's the shape I thought I was getting into. So yeah, we'll see. I'll give it a good shot. I'll give it my best.
Did you do 1 mile and then we'll jump in it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna have much time.
No, just 1 mile really.
Pull it quickly. Fix it.
What's your usual jog pace?
Usually around 7-minute mile in. I
Okay.
start off a little bit slower. I think that's just old age. It takes me a bit to get going, but yeah, normally easy runs are like 6:50, 7 minutes.
Are there things that you track more?
Sleep is always a big one for me. Even just like one night of bad sleep, I'm just really susceptible to picking up bugs and like colds, and so for me, I sleep like an absolute bear. Like I just hibernate all the time, which is why I think I struggle when I do travel long haul. But like for example last night, I slept 11 and a half hours, like straight through, and my watch, obviously I track all that as well, so days I'm like, where I've had not as good sleep, I'll maybe change my days around a little bit, and like if I'm really struggling, then I'll just take the day off. That's actually what we did when we travelled here. I just had just didn't really sleep and really struggled, so I just took an extra day off, so I've had like 2 days off this week now. I didn't want to risk getting sick, you know, like travelling all this way and then not being able to race. Just wasn't worth the risk.
Yeah.
So for me, like heart rate, overnight stats, those are probably the two really important things. I also cross train a lot as well, so I don't do a huge amount. I've never go over an hour. Just mentally, I don't think I need to, because running's still my priority.
Yeah.
But it's mainly just heart rate, to make sure that I'm in like a low effort zone.
Yeah.
I try and get as close to what an easy run pace would be. It's maybe a little touch lower than that, but there's no impact, so it's obviously going to be less stress on the body anyway. As I said, the last thing I want to do is like go too hard, and then I go into my track session or my road session, and then I'm like too tired and I don't hit the times or the quality that I need to run.
For cross training, it's elliptical, or you do bike or anything?
Elliptical. Yeah, so cross trainer or like arc trainer or elliptical. It just depends where I am in the world as to what I have access to. Last resort would be a spin bike, and absolute last resort would be aqua jogging. But if I need to do it, then I'll do it. But I just think the elliptical and like is just much more of a closer to like a running motion than anything else. So I've come from like really low mileage over the years and cross training just because of the injuries I've had. So for me at the moment, I'm still trying to build up. Last year going into London, mileage was probably higher than it's been before, but still it was like maybe 80, 85, and I only did one 20-mile run, which just wasn't enough. Like I need to do more this year for that. But when you've gone from like running 50-mile a week, it's hard to just jump straight to 80 or 90. So at the moment we're trying to like build that up gradually. Ideally next couple of months I'd love to get to 85, 90 and sit at that, but I have to just see obviously how that goes. But that is the goal really, to try and get, I'm never going to be someone that's running like 120-mile weeks, or to be honest it is probably a lot in my head as well. Like I'm just very scared that I do too much and I get injured. Like I have had knee surgery in 2023 and that took me out for a long time. I've only really got confidence back in my body again now, and that's almost coming up for 3 years now. So it's more that side of things. I want to just make sure I do it gradually and sensibly rather than ramp up, especially at my age too. Like it's alright when you're young and you think you can do that and you can bounce back and it's good, but at my age I want to make sure I have the longevity of my career. So I just want to build up sensibly and not take any like unnecessary risks. Long runs, I really need to try and do a bit more consistent, like 18 to 20, maybe getting up to 22, 23 miles. So yeah, long runs haven't really been a priority at this moment in time. But after this race, the long runs and long sessions will start taking a lot more priority.
What's your favorite workout, if you have one?
I still love track. Like, I don't really miss racing on the track, but I love track training. I love the feeling of just running fast. I don't know. Probably a cut down session, something like when you start 2k, K8, 642, and end on like the really fast stuff. I say fast stuff, I'm not moving very fast at all, but it feels fast for me. That's the sort of stuff that I love because I don't get to do that very often now. Yeah, Monday was a complete day off, just with the travel. I was so tired. Tuesday, the gym was shut, so I actually did a double that day, which is pretty unusual for me. I would normally not do a double run anywhere near a race. Did 9 mile in Osaka around the castle. That was Wednesday. Then we got to Muragami, and I went straight to the track actually. It was blowing an absolute gale, so we didn't do a huge amount. I did some 200s, 300s and 200s. Felt horrendous. So hopefully that's not a bad omen for the weekend, but I think it's just, yeah, the jet lag, the weather. I just really needed that actually to get my body feeling much better. 2 mile warm down, and then today hasn't loaded yet, but yeah, it was 2 mile warm up. Some drills, 4 by like 20 odd second strides, and then like a 1.3 mile little cool down.
Yeah.
And that's me. Yeah, that's me ahead of tomorrow.
エイリッシュ・マッコルガン選手、イギリス。安藤友香選手、島村。
I am really excited to race here in Muragami, first time. So tomorrow, I think my shape is good. I ran a 10k PB and European records, so my goal is to break my own PB first, 65.43. As Dolphin said, it depends on the weather. Hopefully we have, fingers crossed, good weather tomorrow. Today was beautiful. And I've not done the course before either, so it's a little bit... Japanese running, particularly with the amount of men, the university teams we have here. So I'm excited to run with that many people and get dragged to, hopefully, fingers crossed, a fast time. 65 something would be the big target.
Dale.
大会記録自己ベスト更新で今フィニッシュです。日本のはハーフマラベストを更新してフィニッシュ。前にお進みください。前にお進みください。見事3年連続のフィニッシュです。そしてホームストレートはエイリッシュ・マッコルガンイギリス。
Yeah, it was tough today. I think a lot tougher than I expected. It was very windy and I found myself running large sections on my own. So yeah, it was a little bit tougher than I expected. I was slow really through the first 5k, 10k, and then from there it was a bit of a slog. But yeah, a little bit disappointed with my time today, but I think all the women apart from the winner was a little bit down on what they wanted. Yeah, maybe not fully recovered from Valencia and the travel and jet lag is I'm not a good traveller, so especially over this side of the world. So yeah, maybe recovery is not quite there, but it's still, I think, my third fastest time I think I've ever done. So not a disaster, but not quite what I wanted to do. As soon as I came to the track, I was in my own little territory. So the last K is really nice, and I managed to sort of get myself moving again. But I had some tough parts in there to do. It was really cool. Like there was people lining the streets the whole way, and I mean I don't know what they were saying, but they were cheering from start to finish, which is cool. And there's such a strong running culture here. I mean, even in the stadium earlier today, I mean the stands were packed out even when we were just warming up, which was really cool. And it's just the depth, the depth of men racing today from university level, from running 59 minutes right the way through to 70 odd minutes. I mean, they're still coming through now, which is incredible. So yeah, it was a little bit more spread out than I thought, but it was really nice towards the end. I was catching some of the guys who had sort of set off a bit too hard and blown up, so I was just constantly trying to hunt down people towards the end today, but really cool. I'll definitely be back.